On the coldest morning of the year, when the wind sliced through coats and breath rose like smoke, Ethan Walker pushed open the door of the tiny corner café he visited every morning before work. He was a man who carried the weight of the world quietly: 2 part-time jobs, overdue bills, a daughter he adored, and exhaustion carved into every line of his face. He entered the café expecting nothing more than a cheap cup of coffee and a moment of warmth before another long day. Please support Mystic Trail stories, like, share, subscribe. Where from watching video. Please comment. Ethan Walker knew struggle intimately. At 32 years old he worked 2 jobs, warehouse loader by morning, grocery stocker by night, all while raising his 6-year-old daughter Lily alone. Life wasn't easy, but he survived through routine. Routine kept him steady. Part of that routine was the little cafe on Maple Street. It wasn't fancy, cracked tiles, cheap coffee, and mismatched chairs, but it was warm. And warmth was enough. He entered that morning expecting the usual. But instead, he found her, the woman who would change everything. She sat curled into herself, soaked from head to toe. Her clothes were thin, not suited for winter. Her hair stuck to her cheeks, and her lips were trembling. She looked as though she'd been walking for miles in the freezing rain. She looked broken. Ethan approached slowly, carefully, like approaching a wounded animal. "Miss, are you okay?" She flinched at his voice. Her eyes darted around as though expecting danger to follow her. I'm fine," she whispered, though she clearly wasn't. Without thinking, Ethan ordered 2 plates of toast and a cup of warm tea. He placed one plate in front of her. She stared at it as if she wasn't sure it was real. "I think they messed up my order," Ethan lied gently. "I can't eat too. Please take it." For a moment she didn't move. Then, cautiously, she lifted a piece of toast with shaking hands and took a bite. The way she ate, hungry, desperate, trying to hide her desperation, made Ethan's chest tighten painfully. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She hesitated, then whispered, "Clara. Clara Hayes." Her voice was polite, soft, and so faint it sounded like even speaking hurt. Ethan didn't push for more. He just stayed close enough for her to feel safe. Every morning after that, Clara was there. Always in the same seat. Always cold. Always quiet. She never asked for anything, but her eyes lit up with fragile gratitude every time Ethan handed her an accidentally extra sandwich. He began to notice small things. She wore the same clothes every day. She jumped at loud noises. Sometimes it looked like she had cried all night. Sometimes he spotted fresh bruises she tried to hide under her sleeves. Ethan wanted to ask, but he didn't want to scare her. So he offered warmth, food, safety, small things, but to Clara, they were everything. Lily, Ethan's daughter, sometimes joined him on weekends. She would smile at Clara, talk about school, show her drawings. And Clara would smile too, small, hesitant smiles that slowly warmed with each passing week. For the first time, Clara began to look alive again. Then one morning, she wasn't there. Ethan told himself she might be sick, maybe she overslept, maybe she found a better place to be. But when she didn't return the next day, or the next, his worry became a crushing weight. 3 days passed, each one darker than the last, and then, on the 4th day, the cafe door opened so violently it slammed into the wall. Everyone turned. 4 large men in black suits entered first, scanning the room like bodyguards. Behind them stood 2 lawyers, carrying thick folders. And between them, Clara, but she looked different. Her hair was clean. Her clothes new. Her face brighter. Yet she still held the same fragile caution in her eyes. The cafe fell silent as the group approached. "Ethan, are you Ethan Walker?" the head lawyer asked. Ethan nodded slowly, unsure. The lawyer continued, "Clara Hayes has been missing for months. Her mother, one of the most influential businesswomen in the state, has been looking for her everywhere." Ethan's heart stopped. Clara stepped forward, her eyes glistening. "I told them everything," she whispered. "About you. About how you helped me. Every single day." Her voice trembled, but she stood taller than before. The lawyer explained that Clara had escaped an abusive fiancé, a man with money, influence, and control. He had isolated her, taken her phone, her bank access, her freedom. One night, she ran into a storm, terrified, alone, starving, and she survived because of you, the lawyer finished. Ethan blinked, stunned. All he had done was offer breakfast, a cup of tea, a warm place to sit, but to Clara, it had been salvation. Her mother, upon hearing the full story, had sent her most trusted people to find Ethan. To thank him. To help him, the way he had helped her daughter. "We would like to support your family," the lawyer said. "Cover your debts. Secure better housing. Pay for Lily's education." Ethan shook his head instantly. "No, I didn't do it for money. I didn't do anything special." But Clara stepped closer, placing her shaking hand over his. "You did more for me than anyone ever has," she whispered. "Please, let my family help you the way you helped me." There was no pride in her voice, only sincerity. Ethan, overwhelmed, simply nodded. Life didn't transform overnight. But slowly, quietly, everything began to change. Ethan received stable housing, safe, warm, clean. Lily got into a good school. His debts were cleared. Clara visited often, not surrounded by bodyguards anymore, but by choice. She sat on the floor with Lily, coloring or laughing softly. She joined Ethan at the café, this time without fear shadowing her eyes. She healed, they healed, together. Strangers became friends, friends became family, and all from a simple act of kindness on a freezing winter morning. Before we end, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Ethan's place?